Well, hello, everybody. See there's a few of you have joined us. About 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of you. I'm going to start. This is an hour session. I'm going to go into module number 8, which you're launching today. So I'm going to share my screen right now. Here we go. So guys, module 8 this week is about brand and brand strategy. And what I'd like you to do is to kind of do a little exercise with you, kind of a quick little lecture online with you about brand. And then I'm going to introduce to you what you need to get accomplished. Because at the end of this, you need to do it's called PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC, personal brand profile. And there's a whole bunch of exercises that you'll need to do. And you're basically, by the end of this week, you're going to be creating your own brand profile. So your own brand strategy to kind of communicate who you are as a person, what your direction is for the future. And what we'll learn today, that everybody has their own personal brand, and there are a lot of similarities between personal brands and brands within organizations. So let's just start off. I'm going to do, and I want you guys to participate in this session. So there's going to be a breakout room that I'll put you into, and you're going to have to talk to one another and then get back to me as we get through these slides here. So it would be a good idea if you could actually turn on your cameras. That's probably the best route when we do these type of sessions. So when we talk about brand, guys, hi everybody. Brand is really something that there's a misdemeanor around brand. And what I do in my business is I do brand and brand strategy outside of the college environment. And so today we're going to learn a little bit about, have a discussion about brand and what you think brand really is and how that's applied within the marketing world today and that type of thing. So what we want to get out of today in the module that we're in today is the idea of the concept of brand personality, brand strategy, and brand equity in a way that we use these things to build brands. We also want to talk about strategic directions and how marketers use brand strategy to make direction and make decisions when they're making marketing programs out there. Also, we're going to talk about the story of the role of storytelling, branded content, branded entertainment, social media, and brand communication as a whole. So that being said, I like to say brand ain't the logo, okay? A lot of people think a brand's a logo, but really brand is a subset of, it's a symbol related to that logo. And really a brand is all that goes into delivering a really unique experience. So you've all been consumers, and when you enter a hotel, for example, and you enter that hotel, you as a customer are the eye of the brand. So you can see and experience how they're delivering their brand experience, how they're delivering the whole environment. And so I like to say a brand is like this iceberg. And as you can see on the screen here, an iceberg is very small on top of the water and very large beneath the water. That's why the Titanic went down. It didn't realize what it was going over when it hit that iceberg. But when you think about it, the top part of any iceberg is what we call in marketing world and brand world as the promotions, the things you see as a consumer. So the advertising, the products, the communications, the customer service, the experience you have with that brand. That's all on top of the surface of the water. Below the surface of the water, we have distribution channels, we have culture, we have the research that the organization does, we have all the processes that they put together and the value statements that they put together for the organization, as well as a myriad of systems that they put in place to ensure that the communications that they're doing, the promotions, the advertising above the water are consistent with what the consumer and the values, the processes, and that, so that we can derive what we call brand consistency. So this is what it's about. A brand is everything and anything is a brand, really. And brand ain't the logo. It's one subset, one little small part of what you do in terms of brand and brand strategy as a whole. So brands are also more than names or symbols, okay? So brands are actually have status. Brands have value. There's an actually practice today in the marketing world of getting valuation to a brand. So the value, for example, when you launch a new social media brand, is usually a lot more than the value of the money they bring in at the time, because they have futuristic value related to that brand. Brands have personality, just like you have personality. So when I say brands have personality, I mean they have a way of expressing themselves, just like an individual has a way of expressing themselves. So brands, we like to talk in the brand world as having a brand personality. In addition, brands elicit emotion, and that is the emotion that they elicit are in the consumer's minds and in their hearts, okay? And so brands, these emotions that they elicit, marketers take those emotions and create communications based on those emotions that reflect in the advertising that they do. In addition, brands can signify quality or a subset of quality, good quality or bad quality. I'll give you an example of that. When you think about a car, what is a brand that is a top car brand? Anybody? Don't be shy. Someone has to speak. What do you think about when you think of a top car brand? What brand comes to mind? The idea is to participate here, guys. Somebody, what's the top car brand? Well, I can wait all day.
I think a lot of us are putting it in the chat there.
Oh, well, I'd like you to speak out loud if you could, because it's being recorded. And I can't see the chat because I have my screen on the line here. What do you think?
Maybe like Mercedes or Lexus or something like that. Those are kind of like the high-end popular brands, I guess.
And why they signify high quality, right? Luxury, right?
Luxury.
And because of that, they have a certain image. And what's the image that you have of that brand? Mercedes, for example.
Well, considering the way that everybody drives them around where I live, it's not the most positive image, but for the brand itself, I guess, really high-end, luxurious, and just elegant, I guess.
Yeah,
Fast.
that's right. So they have certain qualities related to that brand, right? And when you drive that car, you have a certain status that individual probably is trying to exemplify or portray when they drive that vehicle. So brands have emotions, they have personality, they have a signified quality. In addition, brands are legally protected, okay? So if you think about brands, can anybody tell me what a trademark is? Anyone? I guess you and I are going to have a discussion because no one else wants to chat today, but that's fine. What do you think a trademark is? Hey, Jessica?
Explain this. I'm not the best with my words all the time.
But that's okay. But tell me what you think a trademark is. You've heard the term before, right?
Yeah. I don't know. It kind of like the word that comes to my mind to describe it is kind of like a copyright. It's kind of like a symbol, like a rights to something.
Yeah, that's right. You nailed it, actually. It is. It's a symbol. It's a character. It has monetary value. And the subscript you'll see on there is usually TM, which means it's been trademarked, okay? TM. Now, what's the difference between a TM and an R? Anybody know? On a brand. Because sometimes you'll see a circle with an R, or sometimes you'll see a TM. Well, I'll just tell you what it means. A TM means it's under the, they're trying to get a registered trademark, okay? They're in the process of getting a registered trademark. It's a legal protection, so no one else can take over that brand. A TM, on the other hand, is just that it's just you put a TM on a brand and it protects anyone else from trying to get a legal trademark on it, okay? But once it gets to a certain part of time, you'll put an R on it, and it becomes a registered trademark where no one else can ever copy it, okay? So brands also have meaning, okay? So really, brand meaning is really important. So really what marketers do is they try to get a one word that'll associate with the brand, okay? So if I think about a brand, I have these three companies on the screen, okay? Volvo, you think about Volvo, I want you to think about a word that comes to mind. When you think about Coors Light, I want you to think about a brand that comes to mind, and Red Bull. And what I'd like you to do right now is take a snapshot of this stream, because I'm going to put you into some breakout rooms, and you're going to have a discussion with your classmates about what word comes to mind related to Volvo, Coors Light, and Red Bull. Okay, so take a snapshot of this. I'm going to get out of here, and then I'm going to put you into some breakout rooms. And when in those breakout rooms, what I'd like you to do is discuss what word you think comes to mind. Then when we're done the breakout room, we're going to come back on the screen, and we're going to talk about that. Okay, so that's going to put you in these breakout rooms. 1 minute, please. How do I do this? Maybe I'm not going to put you in a breakout room. I can't find it here. 1 second. Breakout. There they are. Okay. All right. So we've got Jessica, Heidi. Well, we don't have enough people, it looks like. Automatically. Okay. I'm going to give you 10 minutes to talk about this. Actually, I may just give you 5 minutes. Hold on. All right. Okay, ready, guys? I'm going to launch the breakout rooms, and you're going to be put into them. So 1 second.
Hello. What is going on here? Am I here by myself in my very own breakout room? Hello, me. Let's discuss something with myself. Okay. So, I'm thinking Volvo durable. Coors Light, water, Red Bull, sugar. Right. Thank you, Rob.
Hello, everybody. You're back. Okay, so let's just continue on. So we were talking about in those breakout rooms, I hope you all got it, that when you see a brand like Volvo, or you see a brand like Coors Light, or you see a brand like Red Bull, they all have meaning. That word comes to mind. So what words came to mind for everybody? How about Volvo? What came to mind? Anybody want to open up and share?
Safe.
I got safe.
Safe. Yeah, that's okay. Anybody else get safe? Safety? How about you, Vanessa? What did you get?
Okay, first association, I will say luxury. That's,
Luxury? Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Anyone else? Well, actually, Rob, you nailed it. So when the majority of people, when they think of Volvo, they think of safety. Okay. How about Coors Light? What did you guys come up with?
Refreshing.
Refreshing. Okay, that's one. Yeah. Anyone else? Okay. How about Red Bull?
Energy.
Energy. What else? What else comes to mind?
Speed.
So, guys, when actually the words that they want to come to mind, let me share this with you, are a second. Safety, cold, and extreme. Okay. So safety was the Volvo's #1 word when they asked consumers to associate with the brand. In Coors Light, the idea of cold. So you know what the bottles, when you have a bottle, you put it in ice, what happens? What happens to the logo?
I think it changes its color or something.
Yeah, it turns blue. It'll look like it's
Turns
ice
blue.
cold. Okay. So they try to, even in their packaging, exemplify a meaning of being the coldest beer out there, refreshing cold beer. And how about Red Bull? Anybody know? Look at the picture on the screen. So they actually go extra far to be known as extreme, and they sponsor extreme sports to be associated with this kind of word that they want to own, which is extreme and extreme sports and that type of thing. So brands have meaning. That's something you should know about. So brands also have relationships based on the consumer perception. So you have feelings for brands. Who loves that? Who here has a favorite brand? What's your
Nike.
favorite? Nike. Yeah, it's a very popular one. Why is it your favorite brand?
It's because of the connection I have with Nike, like Air Jordans. Like I'm a favorite because of the emotional connection I have with the particular brand.
Okay.
Just how I feel with it.
Very good. Anybody else? Anybody else love Apple? No? No one loves Apple? That's fine. There's a lot of people, when I do this, they love Apple, but that's okay. What's your favorite brand? Jessica, what's your favorite brand?
Well, if you're talking like technology and stuff, I use Samsung. I've been a Samsung user for the last like 15 years.
You're a fan, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Good. Okay. And you probably have a perception of the product, and have feelings for its performance and how it distributes its, how it performs in terms of technology, right? So everybody, brands, everybody has a relationship with brands, especially cars, technology. You have relationships with, let me tell you a little story. So I used to be head of marketing for Dairy Queen. And when I went to the border, I used to, when it wasn't COVID, I'd have to travel a lot. And I would get to the border, and a lot of times they'd ask me the question, where are you going? Oh, I'm going to Minneapolis. What for? Business. What type of business? I'd say the word Dairy Queen, and there was always a pause and a big smile that came on their face, because people have childhood memories here in North America for going to Dairy Queen in the summer and having ice cream and that type of thing. And so, and a lot of times they go, really? So it was always pretty comical every time I went to the border. So, a key factor in consumers' relationship to brands is that you actually, as a consumer, you believe what they are telling you, right? So that relationship is about trust. And so you have to trust what they say is what they're going to deliver as a consumer product, for example, or a brand. So that's why brands have relationships, consumers have perceptions of the brands, just like you have a perception of your friends, of people you meet. Well, people have the same type of perceptions with brands. In addition, brands are also people, and people are brands. Celebrities are brands, right? So look at J-Lo, right? J-Lo's a brand, right? Look at Justin Bieber, he's a brand, right? Look at athletes like Sidney Crosby, or you look at some international athletes out there. They all are they have their own brands, and they're like corporate brands, and they can be damaged very quickly, right? Or they can be built up very quickly. And so how about this guy? He's a brand.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So he did a very good job for a long time of establishing himself as this brand, and he's now hurt himself during this whole COVID affair, but that's okay. And what he does on a normal basis. So people are brands, and politicians are brands, celebrities are brands. Okay. So let's thinking about checking it. So I like to say brands are shiny today and bruised tomorrow. Okay. So what that means is there's three truths about brands. You can make them, you can break them, and they are judged by others. Just like people are. You can make them, you can break the relationship you have with people, then brands, and they are judged by others. Okay? In addition, brand equity. Well, brand equity is a kind of an idea of a financial value that's associated with every brand. So that's based on the intangible qualities of the brand, okay? So Second Cup, for example, they have locations across the city. Tim Hortons has different locations across the city. Now they have a financial value, but they also have a value based on intangible qualities, okay? Like their design, their storefronts, where they're located, how you feel when you enter those locations, for example. So brands are more than they have financial value, but they also have intangible qualities that add to that value statement and the value of the brand. In addition, brands have personality. Those are humanistic emotions, just like you have a personality or your friends have personalities, and people judge them based on their personality. And lastly, brands have elements to them, names, logos, and icons, colors, shapes, images, okay? All those things are just a component of the overall brand or the brand logo that is kind of representing all those elements of the personality of that brand. So a brand strategy is something that I do for organizations. And in branding strategy, decisions are made for the name, decisions are made for positioning the brand. And a lot of times brands work on doing sponsorships to associate themselves closely with an event so that they can also be highly associated with that consumer group, and that consumer group that may like their brand, for example, okay? Great brand names are pronounceable, they're extendable, they're legally clear, which means no one else has those names, right? No one has the name Nike, right? And you can't copy that name, and if you do, you're in a lot of trouble. Great brand names relate to, can easily be pronounced, and the products relate to them, and they're distinguishable, okay? Great brands are also extendable. Now, an example, Samsung. So Jessica, you mentioned Samsung's your brand, your favorite brand. You've had it for a long time. And that brand is extended into multiple types of consumer packaged goods products and technology products. Apple's the same way. They extend into a number of different products that relate to one another. And those brand extensions help bring more value, so you can't get off those channels, for example. You can't get away from your Samsung because everything you have is an Android and Samsung, just like I can't get off Apple because everything is Apple. They're all connected. They're all connected through the Apple cloud and everything else, okay? So a lot of times, companies spend a lot of time positioning their brands based on the beliefs and values that the consumers have of the brand, in addition to desirable benefits and attributes for that brand. This is what we call a brand pyramid. And the brand pyramid usually starts, a company will do the vision of the organization. They'll figure out some attributes that associate with that organization, might be leadership. And really interesting in COVID, a company friend of mine, a friend of that runs a research company of mine, has recently done a study on brands, and really consumers are going back to humanistic values, things like love, things like caring, things like family values in this time of COVID, opposed to the values that were there most important before, which might have been innovation or leadership or other values that were more about profit, opposed to the more humanistic attributes and values today. Okay. Brands also come up with brand promises. They come up with a brand promise statement that really promises what they are delivering to their consumer. They have a value proposition which distinguishes them from other brands in the marketplace. For example, Mercedes is a lot different brand than Toyota, right? So because of that, the brand promise and value statement, proposition statement, I should say, is usually distinct, that represents that brand and puts them in a distinct place in the marketplace. In addition, brands spend a lot of time creating a brand story, and I do that in my business. So I'll create brand stories and videos that help brands and communicate to their employees, help guide their advertising approach with stories that have images, they have certain statements, they have words, they have messaging, all relating to their specific brand as a whole. And as you can see at the bottom of this reverse triangle, the brand pyramid, is the logo and tagline. It's usually the most important, the last, actually least important element of a brand. All the other things are really what make and break the brand, the promise, the attributes, the vision of the organization, and how they deliver that in the marketplace and how they position themselves in the marketplace as a whole. So as I mentioned earlier, brand strategy also relates to sponsorship. So brands, national brands usually create and connect themselves to specific sponsorships to really connect to the audience of that event, okay? And usually the brands that are associated to a specific big event are doing it because they want to connect to that consumer group related to that big event, for example. There's also licensing and co-branding, okay? So sometimes brands will, like Marvel, will associate themselves with specific products and licensing or co-branding relationships, okay? At Dairy Queen, for example, we used to do that a lot with our Blizzards. So we would co-brand with, for example, M&M's products, or we would co-brand with, maybe right now they're doing one with Coffee Crisp in Canada, okay? So we would co-brand, we would get marketing dollars from Coffee Crisp to help promote the brand, and usually when we did that, we did it because, one, it tasted good with the ice cream, but two, we were able to benefit both brands, were the Coffee Crisp and the candy bar, as well as the Dairy Queen Blizzard brand. So brands must be managed developed very carefully. As there's a whole management decisions are made based on brand development and the brand communications in today's world, and they help create a very consistent approach for organizations. And it's a lot of time and money spent on this, actually. And so a lot of times you can take a product strategy, and this is how brand development happens. You can develop line extensions to brands based on existing products. You have new extensions for brands, multiple offerings of the brand, and even from there you can create new brands, so new and new. So this is like a brand development, brand strategy model that is used out there. So I'm just going to get out of this now, and you can, what you're going to find is in the module today, this is all explained: brand experiences, branding the logo, brand equity and brand personality, quizzes, summary, and then at the end of all this, you have a small assignment to do your own brand strategy. Okay? So what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to review all the documents in here, and you're given a workbook. It's called the Personal Brand Workbook. There's a bunch of videos here that you can watch. Okay? So you're going to define, for example, your X factor. You're going to define your Y factor. You're going to define and eliminate all the Z factors, things that aren't good related to who you think you are and how you're portrayed and how you want to be portrayed in the marketplace when you go out to get a job. Okay? So doing this exercise is exactly the same way we would do a brand strategy for an organization. But you're going to do this for yourself. You're going to fill out the workbook, which is located here. That workbook is a Word document, so you can write in it. You're going to watch the videos. You're going to do these little surveys that are done here, and you'll be able to figure out what your brand is, okay? So you kind of have to watch the videos, do the exercises, and then fill out this workbook, okay? At the end of the week, you're going to go into assessments, under assignments, and all you need to do in this personal brand profile is upload your profile. Finished, okay? When you do that, you get 10% automatically, okay? Just have to complete the workbook. Now, the benefit to you, which is great, is you're gonna have a plan of action on how to get a job. Are there any questions?
Yeah, Professor, I got a question. So is it like,
Can everybody turn off their, mute their mics if they're not talking? So it's a, Shreya, you're talking, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So do we have to take ourselves as a brand, or we just take any brand? For example,
Oh,
we take.
you're talking, this is about you personally, okay? So let's say you finish this program, and at the end of it, you want to get a job, right? You got to position yourselves. You have to position yourselves against everybody else in this class and other people vying for the same job, right? So what I want you to do is do this exercise. I'll go back to it so you can see it. You'll see there's a bunch of video that talks about it. Let me go back here. This video, I'll just play one of the videos for you, okay? I'll play this one. Your personal brand, set it up, okay? Here we go.
Hi, I'm Jason. I'm a junior in college, and I'm already starting to feel the stress of graduation and the big unknown. Maybe you feel the same way. Everyone's been telling me I have to start thinking about what I want to do with the rest of my life. That's a pretty big question, and I'm all over the place. I could follow my family's footsteps and do what's expected. Ooh, that isn't a good look for me. So what should I do? I need to tap into my greatest strengths, things that I love to do, and find my own way. Gotta get some direction. So where do I start? I can't do this alone. I need some feedback. What do other people see in me? What do they think are my greatest strengths? And what makes me unique? My friends and family mean well, but there has to be more to it than that. I need to expand my network. I need to focus on what I really want to do and what I have to offer. So here I am. I'm ready to get serious about what's next. Time to tune into what makes me, me. What do I want to do? Do I take the obvious path and follow in my family's footsteps? Or can I make a living doing something that I love? And once I figure out what I want to do, how do I get there? How can I stand out in person, on paper, and online? How do I tell my story? I'm ready. It's time to put pen to paper on this. It's time to discover my strengths, figure out my values, tap into my passions, and find my purpose. How about you? Let's do this together. Let's do this now. Come on. Follow me.
Okay. So that's, I'm just gonna stop sharing for a second and go back to the slides. 1 second. All right, so you can review these videos. Each one kind of helps guide you through what you need to do in the workbook, okay? The next one after the first one, that's the introduction one, is your personal brand setup. Then you're going to build your brand and make an impact. You're going to define your X factor, understand your Y factor and your Z factor video, and then what makes us us, or what makes you you. Okay. As well, people share their brand advantage. So out there, and as well, shut it out. They're to give you some tips on how to get your brand out there and get people noticing you. Okay. All in all, you're going to use this workbook. Now, in addition, there's a link here. This link brings us to a website. Okay. That website is, again, this personal brand book. Okay. But I also downloaded as a file, which is a Word file, which will allow you guys to use it and adapt it and work with it. Okay. So the advantage to you is you get 10 marks, but you also can do it and get yourself a plan of action after graduation here. Are there any questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
So I just quickly looked into this document, and it's like a 50-page document. Do we have to fill out the whole 50-page document?
Well, you have to read it and go through it. So I'm going to extend the, it takes a fair amount of time. I'm going to extend this booklet to be due the first week of August. Okay, so I'm going to give you more time. All right, is that good, Rob? Okay. So I'll do that today. I'll make sure at the end of the first week of August that you have your brand profile book done. Because yeah, I may have been a little overzealous in trying to do this in a week, but that's okay. I appreciate your feedback. Okay. So, any other questions? All right. Now you've also, all of you, have been put into groups for your final assignment, your big assignment that you're going to be doing together. Okay, so you can see on East Centennial, you've all been put into a group. Some people have asked to be in another group, but I'm not going to be doing too many changes there. So when I get to this book, I'm going to have to go back 1 second. So in the group area here, communications, groups, there's been 12 groups set up, okay? And each one was randomly assigned for the big assignment. So I'll just look, for example, at group 3. In that group, I can view the enrollment. And you can see, if you have been assigned to this group, which I don't know if anybody on the line is in this group, you should start to connect to that group vis-a-vis Zoom or another method to start planning out the major assignment. Would you like me to review the major assignment with you?
Yes, please.
Okay, so the major assignment is located right here. I'll share it with you. It's called the Dragon's Den assignment. So typically you guys would have been in class with me and we would have had a big competition, okay? The competition, however, doesn't have to stop. So basically what we are doing is we are going to, in teams, does everybody know, has everybody been to Centennial College and seen the restaurant on the main level of the School of Hospitality? So
do you mean the one at Progress?
Yeah, the one at Progress, yeah.
I went to Ashton B, so I never went there.
Yeah, so you guys have all been in COVID, but there's an actual restaurant. It's called the Local Cafe and Restaurant. It's a learning lab and a learning restaurant, okay? So basically, when it's open, it's not open right now, but when it's open, students in the hospitality program learn how to run a restaurant, okay? And they serve really great food. It's really fresh food, daily, like they have a buffet that they have. It's very affordable too. You can get a buffet for $12, for example. And to be honest, they've been doing a really great job of attracting people on the weekends, which is a surprising thing. But what's happened is they need to attract, when the school opens, more people just who go to the college at lunch or at dinner time, for example. Okay? So you'll see in this document, you have, it's like an RFP. Anybody know what an RFP is? Request for proposal, okay? And so you're gonna be asked in your group to basically review this document. In addition, it kind of gives you an overview of what's there and the process that we're going to go through. So the process is, you're all going to get together. You're going to create a marketing plan that is an experiential and social media marketing plan for the local, okay, in your team. You got to come up with creative. You have to come up with ideas to drive students to increase their awareness of the local and to get them to come to the restaurant, okay, when there's no COVID. Okay. So basically, the briefing's today, okay, that's today, and it's due in a video. There's a plan due, an actual written plan, and a video of you all presenting in Zoom. So you're gonna have to practice in Zoom. We did this the last term as well, with a presentation, your big ideas, okay, to promote the local restaurant and grill, okay? So I'm gonna you should make yourself familiar with the document. When the actual time comes to submit it, you're gonna go to the assessment area. You're gonna go to assignments, and you'll see here that there's this area here where you can submit your group video, so a link or a recorded video that you've done on Zoom. And you can also, in that area, upload your written document, okay? In addition, I'm gonna have coaching sessions with each group. Okay, so in about 3 weeks, actually, let's see, what's the date today? I'm gonna figure a best time for this. So probably, let me see here. Actually, I'm gonna make the coaching sessions next week. Okay, so next week, I'm gonna send you all an email to sign up with your group for a coaching session so that you can run your ideas, have any questions with me about the assignment, you get a good sense. And I'll do the coaching session next Monday between 1 and 3 o'clock, or 1 and 4 o'clock, okay? And I'm gonna send you all out a signup.com. So signup.com, what it is, you can sign up with your group. One member of your group will sign up, the 4 members of your group, and you'll sign up for a time for a 10-minute coaching session. Okay? That way you have time this week to meet online, to start to plan out your presentation, plan out what your ideas you're gonna come up with to promote the local. Then you're gonna come online and you're gonna come and meet with me, and I'm gonna coach you. So just like as if you worked with me, right? You're gonna go, hey, Ron, I got some ideas. These are our ideas. What do you think, Ron? And I'm gonna tell you, you might wanna try this, might a little bit of that. And I'm gonna coach you along. And then on the 19th, you're gonna submit your proposal, and you're gonna submit your written proposal, and you're gonna submit your video that you're all gonna do using Zoom and recording. So little tip for you is you need to practice using Zoom. So you should meet using Zoom. You should practice recording on Zoom. And what we'll end up with is a lot of great presentations at the end of the term. Okay, are there any questions?
I'm not available like at any of those times next week for any of the coaching things.
What's a good time for you, Jessica?
I become available after 4 p.m. every day next week.
Okay, maybe what I'll do is I'll make 2 time sets. I'll do one between 1 and 3, and another time between 4 and 6.
Okay.
And then people can just pick when they're available, and I'll make myself available for that. Is that good?
Yeah.
I'd be happy to do that for you guys. Anything else you want to ask me about while you have me here on the line? This is like a fireside chat. I want to anything you want to ask or question about?
Yeah, Professor, when we make the presentation on Zoom, should we each make one presentation each and then combine it, or or full of us should be on the screen and then make it?
That's a great question. Thank you. It's just like we're doing right now. So you'll be online with the 4 members of your group. You'll share your presentation and you'll each take turns while you're recording it, presenting a portion of the presentation together, which means you need to rehearse and practice, right? You need to practice together online, and you're gonna have to communicate using Zoom and using your chat and connecting to one another in the class. If you have a challenge connecting to your group, you need to email me, okay? If the person isn't cooperating, if the person's not meeting with you, doesn't feel like they want to meet with you, you need to email me right away. Okay, so this week, everybody, and I know everybody's not online here, but I'm going to put this recording on our eCentennial. You need to start to get together and plan out your final presentation. This is a big part of your mark, just so you know. It's worth, I think, I think it's worth 25 to 30% of your final mark. So you got to put a lot of effort into it. My advice to all of you is to practice. Just like the Stephen Jobs video you saw him presenting, practice, practice, practice. The more you practice, the better you're going to get again. Also, use lots of visuals in your presentations so that you can make your point. Get some great creative, so concepts and ideas. I'll share some, maybe the winning one from last term. I'll see if I can find it. If I can find it, I'll share it, okay? And then you guys can see what people came up with before. You can't copy their ideas though, but you'll see what they came up with. Any other questions?
I have a question. The assignment says something about some finalist competition with judges and stuff.
Yeah,
That's
so
still true?
well, originally we were going to try and get judges to judge all the videos and the proposals, but because of COVID, it may just be me. So I'll be the person judging the final submission. I may get another friend to help me at the college, possibly Bob Dallas, or even the general manager of the local, like we've done in the past. You got your, Heidi, you got your mask on. And what we'll do is we will end up announcing the winning person. Okay, the winning group will get a free dinner for 4 each member at the local. There's a prize if it ever opens again. So.
Sorry, Ron, I think you probably answered this and talked about it. I just kind of didn't understand it properly, I guess. The local briefing plus the Q&A, you said it's like today. I don't understand how that works exactly.
Okay, so this is a briefing. So in any real life situation, your client would brief you about the local, saying, we want you to come up with a marketing plan, experiential and social plan. You know, the target is students on campus. They are, the target market's also business people around the college who come in for meetings at the local restaurant. And so this is the briefing, okay? I'm giving you the document. The document is the briefing. That's all it needs.
Okay, so there's not really a portion that we have to submit with that because it's just this?
It's just this. You just have to watch this video and read the document.
I got a question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
What about if we need further information about the restaurant, about the business itself? Is there any website or any other resource that we can use?
There is. So there is a website right now. Do you want me to share it? I can open it up. Okay, why don't we do that?
Yes, please. Thank you.
So this is their main website, okay? It's not open right now, but you can find out about kind of their philosophy, their menu, what they serve on an ongoing basis. That's kind of what it looks like inside. Okay. And it's actually in the main building where if you were going to classes, you'd walk by this every day. Okay, it's actually quite a nice restaurant. In addition, the menu itself. A lot of times they have a buffet style lunch. They have a lot of different healthy options, salad bars, handmade pizzas, the chef station. They have usually carved different types of meat and different things. In addition, they have a beverage lounge. So the beverage, they have a different type of beverage every day, and they serve craft beers and wines and different things like that. Every dinner, they have a buffet style dinner, the same as lunch. And on the weekends, this has become very popular in the area when it's open, is a buffet style lunch. In addition, you can have events. So they used to have in here a bunch of events. There's no events right now, obviously. You can find in the About section what they're all about. And so if you Google this, you can find all this information. Was this helpful, Vanessa?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Also, they have social media channels. So if you go to Instagram, they have an Instagram page. Okay, you can look at what they've been posting. So your goal is to come up with a plan to raise awareness among students in the local area for the local and get people to come and book and reserve. You can reserve now, for example, here on the website. Come up with a campaign that's going to drive awareness and get traffic to people coming to the restaurant. Now, you're not going to do the campaign. You're just going to come up with an idea. You got to combine social media marketing with Google AdWords and experiential marketing. Now, you'll learn in next week's class and module about experiential marketing. Okay. Experiential marketing is where you do a stunt, or you do sampling, or you get out into the field with or on campus with food to get people to try it, or you do a stunt, or you do something that really creates excitement for the brand. Okay, and a lot of times you'll see this type of thing down at Dundas Square when we're not in COVID. Okay. All right. So, are there any other questions?
Yeah, just a quick question, Professor. Do we have any budget for the same?
There you go. Good question. Yeah, the budget is $30,000. Okay. Now, normally they don't spend that amount, but it's $5,000 to $30,000. But the reason I make it 30 is so you can come up with some good ideas. You got to research your ideas, make sure you can fit within the budget that you come up with. You got to build a plan which has objectives and a strategy. It tells us what type of marketing tactics you're going to use, like social media, experiential, Google AdWords, how you're going to use them together, right, to work together. You're going to create some creative, so you have to be creative. Now, there's some tools you can use to create free tools out there. Anybody heard of Canva? Okay, so you should think of some of these free tools like Canva to come up with your campaign. Make sure they're consistent, they look the same. Okay? They fit the brand, which is the local restaurant and cafe. So you're speaking the same language as them, and not something way off base. You may want to investigate, some of the things they've done in the past, their social media posts and what they do, type of events they've had in the past. You have to do a little bit of research to be able to find all that kind of stuff out. And I know there's a lot of stuff out there on this local. There's a lot of been written about it too, and there's been YouTube. There's a bunch of news articles that have been done on them, as well as TV stations have reported on the local as well. Any other questions? Okay, so for the coaching sessions, look out for in the next 2 days. Probably by tomorrow, you'll get an email. It's going to be by tomorrow, okay? Maybe today, but most likely tomorrow. I'm going to have 2 time frames to help you out. One between 1 and 4. Sorry, one between 1 and 3, and one between 4 and 6. Okay, and I'll give everybody a whole bunch of different options so they can pick the time that works for them. Once again, hook up with your teammates, review the document together online, have a discussion online, okay, and connect with one another. Have you guys been connecting with one another at all? Yeah, sort of? Okay. Well, yeah, you're gonna have to in this assignment.
Excuse me, sir. I had a question. I was wondering, do we have to have the same content of the restaurant that we have, or can we modify something that they are providing inside the restaurant and then advertise for it?
Do you mean
Or-
products in the restaurant, food in the restaurant, or you're advertising?
Yeah. The food and whatever the programs or the events that they have inside, can we modify that and then present, or do we have to do the same thing that they do inside the restaurant and then advertise that?
That's a good question. You can't really change the food offerings, but you can change the events. You can come up with ideas, different nights, you know, maybe it's a jazz night, you know, or something, right? You got to come up with some ideas.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, well, thanks everybody. It's really great seeing you again. Sorry, I've been a little absent the last couple of weeks. COVID's got me a little bit crazy, but that's okay. I'm back. So here we are, and I'm going to be doing something with you from now on till the end of the session. So you will see each other every week. Either have a coaching session or we'll have a lecture, okay? Online like this one today. Okay?
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, guys. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
Hi, guys.
We'll be chatting at you. Bye-bye.
All right.